Alrighty, week 13. So we have now crossed that barrier of the three most important things that we do in this class, right? And we've crossed the second one, which is your dev work, right? And you know, I almost want to attempt to have a hard conversation with you like this. And the thing is, you, meaning the students who watch this, the students who actually take this information in and consider it, right, vary in your experience of Dev 1. And I'm just curious, and here's the correlation that I see, because I saw some of you last week, and I didn't actually see for this class, did I see anybody this week? No, actually, I don't think I did. So, and the ones I haven't seen are on my review schedule for next week, but your comments, as I was reading them, talked about, and I might be blurring some of my JavaScript students' responses, but in general, what I've noticed is the students who start early have a better opportunity to deliver a product that's quality and that the stress level is different. Oh, no, I did see. I'm sorry, I did see one student this week. I'm remembering now who that was. So there's a direct, in my view. Now, you may disagree with me, and that's cool. You can totally do this, but I see a direct correlation between students who start early, give themselves a chance to where if they need help, they can reach out and get it, and those who wait till the last minute. And and at the same time, I get it. I really do, because I know that's why I need deadlines. But what I have to do is self-impose those deadlines to where, yes, I could wait until the week before you're supposed to do something to look at it, but I'm trying to deliver a better product. I say that in light of 13 code along because I ran into some issues. But it gives me an opportunity, and that's really because of the importance that devs play, the dev work in this class. That's why I've been talking about them, showing you my output, giving you things, hopefully through some of our Learn Together work to help you prep for those. Right? So, give me your feedback about that. And that's actually the other thing about attendance from here on out is like just replying with not really anything related to the topics covered won't get you the point. And why is that? Because now I'm giving you an additional benefit to doing attendance, which is partly why I'm doing it, is to get you to watch the video fully, because I think most of you watch this content. But, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to deliver you a better experience or a good experience of learning a really valuable skill so I could be better at it. No doubt about that. So, your feedback about that, like, if, any feedback, honestly, if you disagree with me, because sometimes here's what I hear from students, like that deadline gives them the focus and the motivation to get it done. No, I get that. The challenge can be if you need help, right? If you need help with something and you're waiting to the last minute, right? And here's the thing I've thought about. It's like I have things due, let's say at midnight. Really, hopefully you all know by now, it's the next morning. So, right, I'm not going to be available when you should be submitting the work. So maybe I should make the due dates when I'm available, which would be about in the middle of the day. Which would you prefer? Right? Because these are really just strategies that I've come up with over the course of my teaching career to try to help students, right? Set them up for success. Think forward a little bit instead of thinking right at or behind the due date. But, even given that, sometimes stuff just happens. Like, that's the other thing is our lives are complicated and sometimes you just can't change what is in front of you. So, right? Anyway, moving on. I have up to, let's see how far I've created. See, that's me work. Okay, I've already made that point. I've worked through week 15, and I only really have 2 weeks of content to finish. So, as usual in the fall semester, my goal is to have all the content available to you by Thanksgiving. I think I can make that. I'm actually really enjoying the Kenter graphical thing. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about how I'm going to do Dev 2, our last Dev for this class. So I'm actually going to start mocking that up, and that's something, right? Mock-ups or wireframes, like the idea of how I'm going to lay it out. But I'm really enjoying that content, and at the same time, it seems, whew, you have to really kind of understand the way it works, and I think you hopefully will. I feel like now that I'm almost halfway through that, I do feel like I'm getting that. So I'm actually almost through. Anyway, blah blah. So let's just focus more clearly now on next week, the week we're in, which is week 13. So in doing this work, I ran into some I ran into some challenges because what I did, and I recommend in this case, I can't make you create a visual or a virtual environment, but I highly recommend you do for the code alongs, and not that other people are going to use your code, but again, the reason we're doing virtual environments is to allow you to isolate the code that you're installing only for that directory, only for that work. And when I realized hindsight, and I realized this after the video that you're going to see I did forget this, but I ran into some challenges because I created a virtual environment and then I changed the folder name, and that threw it off. So because I ended up trying to put my section 13 and 14 in the same file, so I only had to do the virtual environment once. So I don't recommend that. I mean, you could try. But here's the video names and the videos that are associated with, so make sure that, right, you do commits for each of them. So going back to what you're doing here is the web scraping, both, how to run Python that reaches out. Oh, and let me say this. Kudos to Kelly, who, when I was talking about get Amazon price my code, I ended up changing it to city because of a 503 error. If you don't know what those are HTTP errors based on the web server. He actually realized when he did it, that all you have to do is place a attribute on the call, the reach out to the web, by putting headers. So if you want to go back and look at the Discord that he gives that feedback, you might do that to get through that work. Or you could do what I did, which is use the Fresno City site just to get something to query, right? To get something off of a website and then look at that information specifically. So some good stuff in this. This is why we were finishing out this section. Week 14 next week is our last one, and I got additionally frustrated with it because you'll hear me talk about that, so I won't do that. So anyway, we're also going to start our look at Excel. Oscar should be happy. Actually, Oscar should be ahead of the game. Oscar used the library that he's going to show here for creating and reading Excel files. He's already been using it. So any feedback Oscar wants to give us on that library. But again, you're going to have almost every video he installs a new library. So it's up to you whether you want those things to install globally or if you want to do a virtual environment. Okay. All right. So my last thing I'll leave you with, and this is a total rough draft because, and I shout out to Aaron, he's been asking me about this, but at this point, the only thing I can imagine, because he was asking me, for Dev 2, are we going to have to use Excel or PDFs or Word, the stuff we're learning at the end of here? And my thing is no. I mean, unless you want to. Totally, if you want to, do it. And some of you that are, your application already requires that, of course you'd be doing it. But really what I want you to kind of in your vision here as we move forward is ultimately what you're going to do is take your Dev 1 out, your Dev 1, and create a graphical user interface with Kinter. That's your final, and I gave you the date. I just drafted this, but I'm sure there'll be a little more detail that I'll do here. Code reviews are, of course, still required. The key is with this one, you see this December 10th here, there's no late work for this one. This is the end of the semester. So my whole discussion about working ahead could definitely apply to this last one as well. Anyway, I think that's all I had. Oh, yeah. Oscar has been asking me about the data science classes, and I did get an email about what the schedule is going to be. The data science program at Fresno City is not starting next semester. It's starting the fall 2021 semester. So, and I know this is not something you all want to hear, but my part of the machine learning is actually not going to be offered until a year from next semester, which seems like forever. But that is the way the scheduling goes. So yes, I am teaching classes in the schedule machine learning a year from next semester. But until then, we have Python every semester on the schedule, which I would ask you to help me. Please help me get the word out about this class so that we can get more and more students. I've had a handful of computer science students reach out to me about this class, which I'm happy about, and I appreciate all the CS students. I know there's a couple in here that have helped PR this class, and I really appreciate that. So, all right, have a great weekend. Peace out.